Hello, students. Welcome to my class. Hope you all are doing fine. I'm Keerti, and today we are going to discuss about some of the environmental issues that we are facing in our day-to-day life, right? And how this environmental issues or the concerns are actually damaging our climate, right? So let's start with the discussion. This chapter or this session of ours is all about what are the global challenges that we are facing today, such as pollution and of course the climate change. We are going to explore about the causes, the types, effects, and measures to control, right? This will help us understand how human activities impact the environment and what we can do to restore the balance, right? Okay. So what is known as environmental issues? These issues are nothing but the problems that are actually caused by human activities, people like me and you. Okay, how we are disturbing the natural balance, right? And this includes what? This includes pollution, global warming, deforestation, how our ozone is depleting, right? The loss of diversity that we are facing today. Many species present in our environment have become extinct, right? Many have come to a point where these are considered, as endangered. Now they are at the verge of extinction, right? So what is a pollution? When we say that there is a pollution of something, pollution is the introduction of harmful substances into the environment, right? And it affects air, water, soil quality. It affects us. It affects each and every living organism that is present on our earth, right? So, how these harmful substances are introduced in the environment? What are the activities that led to this pollution? So, to make it easier, we have categorized the pollution into a total of 5 points, right? Air pollution, because of all the smoke dust that are released from n number of vehicles that are on the roads today, right? Water pollution, right? How water is polluted, why acid rains are there. We have many a time seen the lake covered with algal, you know green part all over the surface of the water. They are nothing but the algal blooms, right? They covered the whole surface of the water, which inhibit the sunlight going inside the water, deep into the water, right? Sorry. Soil pollution. Various chemicals nowadays are used to increase the crop yield. For example, DDT, right? Noise pollution. Noise pollution, which is coming from industries, right? Or listening music at very high volume, what will happen? It will ultimately damage your ear. Sorry. Right? This noise pollution will, cause sleep deprivation, ultimately leading to the adverse effect on your health. Right? Thermal and radioactive pollution, the release of radioactive material into the environment. So these are all types of pollution that we are facing today, right? What are the causes of these pollution? Hmm. These pollutions are actually happening because of various industries, right? Each year we are establishing new, n number of industries every year, and we are not taking into account that what ill effect is going to be there because of these industries, right? Each individual nowadays is, using singular vehicle. Everyone have their private vehicle, right? This vehicle is, what is it giving? It is giving hell lot of CO2 emission, right? Various chemicals that we are using in our agriculture field, right? These are actually seeping through the soil, and from topmost layer it is going deep inside the soil, right? We humans are doing the improper waste disposal, right? How, whenever we are outside, you know what we do, we go buy some kind of chips, they come with the poly bag, the plastic, the package material is all made up of plastic, and you know already that this plastic take millions of years to degrade, right? What we are doing, we are throwing it here and there. With the help of wind, it will go reach to some kind of pond, some kind of lake, right? So these are ultimately causing what? That plastic bag of yours, it will go and, be present in that particular lake for like 10 years, 12 years, unless and until it is picked out from that pond, right? We are doing deforestation without replanting trees, right? Human needs are increasing day by day, but our environment has limited source of, natural resources. The environment can sustain the need of each and every individual, but the greed, this cannot be sustained by environment, right? So for the use, deforestation is there, but we are not planting as many trees that are required to counter the effect of deforestation, right? So these are all causes of pollution, right? And these pollution results in various kind of deformities, even with human body and with the natural resources. For example, the soil that is used to grow crops, it will lose the fertility. There will be eutrophication of water bodies, algal blooms that spread over the surface of the water. Why they are there? Because there is enrichment of the water of the lake, and this algal bloom, this alga grow and divide rapidly using that nutrient. Various respiratory disease, for example, asthma is very common nowadays. Earlier, it used to be a disease which is going to happen with the people of age more than 40, 45. Nowadays, even small child is suffering from asthma. Why is it so? It is because of all ill effects of pollution that are actually, triggered by us only. Nobody else is responsible for this pollution, right? So how we can control them? How we can minimize that effect? We can use renewable energy, right? For example, not using petrol or CNG, we can use electric vehicles for traveling, right? A proper waste management and recycling must be there, right? We should plant as many trees as possible. At least if a single individual like you and me, if we are going to, plant, for example, trees inside our premises, around our home, at least we can contribute to the environment. If not for others, we will be, inhaling the pure air, right? Some strong pollution controls laws must be given by the government. Public awareness must be created by government through mass and media, of course, right? So these are the ways, like we already know. For example, what we can do at our level. If we are going to the same place, suppose you and your friend, rather than using two bikes for going for a particular place, you can go together, right? So these are very small steps which can be done by person individually, right? And at a mass level, at a big level, of course, the government intervention is needed in each and every aspect of our day to day life, right? So let's come to our next topic, which is climate change. See, this climate change refers to long term shifts in global temperatures and weather patterns, primarily caused by human activities like burning fossil fuels. This climate change is is the change not happening like in 1 to 2 years, right? It is happening more than over a long period of time, more than say 10 years or 20 years, 40 years, right? Right? So, what are these causes of climate change? These are greenhouse gas emissions, deforestation, industrialization, overconsumption of natural resources, right? So, you can already see that these are actually indirect causes of, and some are direct causes of pollution, right? So, this pollution and this cause of climate change, they are interrelated, right? So, what is this greenhouse effect or greenhouse gas emission? See, this greenhouse greenhouse effect is a natural phenomenon where gases like CO2, CH4, and N2O trap the heat in the atmosphere, maintaining Earth's temperature. But excess greenhouse gases causes global warming. So how this greenhouse gases emission is increasing by use of, various number of vehicles. Day by day, the number of vehicles are increasing. And these number of vehicles are increasing and they are emitting CO2 in very large amount, right? Because they are dependent on petrol and diesel, and burning of this petrol and diesel actually releases CO2 in the environment, right? So the overall temperature of the earth is now increasing because more of the CO2 is released in the environment, right? Clear? So what is happening? I already told you that these global temperatures are rising because there is more heat in the environment. The earth is now have become more hotter. And that is why there is melting of glaciers. Because of melting of these glaciers, ultimately the water will go into the sea levels and there will be rise in sea levels. These will lead to extreme weather events, for example, more of cyclones, more of tides. And what will happen? This all will create threat to what? To us, to biodiversity, the type of living organism that are present in the environment, and it will affect the food security, right? So what we can do, whatever steps that I told you when we were discussing about pollution, the same we can do here because each and every day counts, right? And each and every individual who are living on the surface of the earth is responsible for maintaining this environment of theirs, right? So this global warming is what? It is steady increase in Earth's average temperature due to greenhouse gases that we talked about, CO2, CH4, right? And it will lead to what? It will lead to desertification, ecosystem loss, the balance will get disturbed and will lead to extreme climatic conditions, right? So, what are the strategies that can be used to mitigate all these? We can reduce the greenhouse gas emissions. How? By carpooling, right? We can promote sustainable practices. For example, rather than going for a car or, diesel, we can increase the use of more electric vehicles because they do not release various harmful gases into the environment. We must switch to renewable energy. For example, the use of solar lights. We must plant as much as trees we can. We must protect our forests and oceans. And international cooperation, it means at an international level, people must come forward to, discuss these strategies, discuss each and every aspect of this environment change that uh, we are seeing, right? Okay. So what are the role of individuals? I already told you, use public transport. conserve energy and water, reduce, reuse, and recycle, and support various eco-friendly initiatives, spread awareness. Okay. Unnecessary wastage of water. A day will come, we will not have water to drink, right? So we must use each and every natural resources in a very effective way. We must not waste them, right? So this pollution and this, the global warming and the climate change, these are very interconnected, right? And as an individual, we can do various steps to you know, at least mitigate these conditions in our way, right? We can use, like, for example, for going to a nearby places, rather than using a bike, you can use a bicycle, right? That is eco-friendly. Okay. For example, we can use electricity in very effective way. When there is no use, we must switch off all the lights and fans so that it consumes less electricity, right? We must plant trees as much as possible, right? So all these steps can be done by people individually, and at national and international level, of course, the government is already playing a vital role, and in future also the government will use various method to overcome this problem of pollution and the climate change, right? Hope I'm clear with this topic of yours. Now you are clear with the pollution, how the pollution and climate change is interrelated, right? Okay. Even if you have any doubt, you can contact me through my Urban Pro profile, right? Till then, I request you go through your notes, go through your NCRT, keep studying, keep learning. Okay. Thank you for this session. Thank you.